Good evening. My name is Victoria Jeffries, and I am the facilitator for the session. Oh, hi, there you are, Patty.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's 4 o'clock, so I was just getting started and getting the recording going for our students. We do have an attendee that signed in. So you know that I'll say everything for all of you at once, that there's no audio, so your mics are turned off, as well as your camera for the participants. But for asking questions and answering questions, if you want to use the Q&A feature that's at the bottom, that Patty, are you presenting by yourself today? So as the only panelist, you can respond to them as long as they type those in there. The session is being recorded, and there are more sessions for our interested students and families to sign up for at inacac.org. Search for the virtual college exploration. I'm going to turn off my camera and mic since I'm only the facilitator, Patty, and you won't see me until either I hear you stop talking and questions stop being asked, or you reached 43 minutes. Sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
I will surrender the screen to you, and I will see you in 42 minutes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Patty.
I appreciate it. All right, I am going to share my screen with you guys. She said there was somebody out there. Hopefully there's more than one, but we'll see. My name is Patty Spencer, and I am an admissions counselor at the College for Creative Studies, which is in Detroit. And I have just a quick presentation for you today about the school, about the programs that we offer, some bits of information about college in general, art school in particular, some things to think about when you're looking around at colleges to help you find the school that's going to be the right fit for you. And I will definitely finish up early and have some time for Q&A at the end. So we will definitely try to get those questions answered that you might have. So we'll go ahead and get started here. I like to jump around a little bit when I'm doing a presentation, and I like to start talking about what alumni are doing. And the biggest reason is to start to give you an idea about what you can do with a career in visual art. You know, starving artist is the last thing that's out there, and there are tons of different opportunities in the visual arts. So if you don't take anything else away from this presentation today, that is probably the one thing I want you to take away from this. So there's a lot of opportunities in the visual arts. We will start with the first one here. This one's kind of fun. Tim Flattery was a transportation design major at CCS, and he did that for a few years, but that wasn't really where his passion was. He ended up finding his way to Hollywood, and he's been one of the top concept designers for film for almost 30 years now. He's done quite a few things you probably have seen: Men in Black, the entire Marvel Comic Universe series, which is the image here. Concept design for film happens at the very beginning of the filmmaking process. They are the ones that determine what the characters are going to look like, what the clothing, the costumes are going to look like, the weapons, the environment, their homes, transportation, all of those things. They usually have access to, say, a script, or an outline, and that's going to give them some basic information about it, and they come up with the visual side of it. Sarah was an entertainment arts major, and entertainment arts at CCS has 4 things that fall underneath it, including animation, which is what Sarah did. She had a great opportunity. She interned with a company that was working on Black Panther, and then after graduation, they hired her for full time. And that's a great experience for somebody right out of college. It's an unusual experience right out of college to be working on a film of the level of Black Panther, but it speaks to how really well prepared she was with her education at CCS. Nabila was crafts and material studies, and she focused on texture and fabric design, and that's what she's doing now. Chris was an illustration major, and Big City Greens is the most recent cartoon that he's done with Disney. You might have seen it. It's actually kind of fun. If you haven't, I would suggest taking a look at it. But that has been where his passion is from day one, was with cartooning. He did it in high school, was one of those kids that was constantly, you know, scribbling on notebooks on the side of his homework and things like that. And he's really been able to make a living at something he loves to do. Jessica was a communication design major. Communication design includes things like graphic design, web design, multimedia design. In her case, she is actually doing social media work with an ad agency. And then this was just kind of fun. Wendy was a crafts major back in the 70s, but she is the artist who actually created the puppet character of Yoda for the Star Wars film. So that's definitely, like I said, kind of a fun one. I'm going to jump around again a little bit. I like to, you know, try to give you some ideas about what we do here at CCS. I know there's not a whole lot of time. One of the things I would suggest is, if you have an interest, or if this sparks any kind of interest in CCS, is taking a look at our website. There's tons of information there, lots of videos that we're not going to have time to see today, talking to students, talking to faculty, talking to alumni. That will give you a lot more information about the program or the school. Let me just give you some basic information here. We are located in Detroit, Michigan. School's actually been around for a long time, over 100 years. It was founded in 1906, and it's a fully accredited school. It is a private school as well. So we have the same tuition in-state and out-of-state. And if you're in Indiana, that's a benefit. We are offering 11 different undergraduate majors and 4 master's degree programs. The 9 emphases that you see listed there, those are the ones in lighter type under crafts and material studies and under entertainment arts. And I'm going to go through each of these majors and tell you a little bit about them, give you some ideas. Couple of things to think about when you're looking around at colleges. You know, one is location, for sure. We are definitely in a big city, and that's something to take into consideration. Size is another one. You know, do you want a big school? Do you want a small school? CCS actually has just over 1,400 students. For an art school, that's kind of mid-size. There are some that are a lot smaller than we are, that have, say, 200 or 300 students. There's some that are a lot bigger than we are, that have 5,000 or 6,000 students. Personally, I have a BFA in graphic design, and I went to Michigan State University many years ago. At the time, there were about 44,000 students at State, and I think it's in the 60s now. So, you know, to me, CCS feels like a smaller school, but that's what I was experienced, or what my exposure was. My advice to you guys is to think about your high school and how many students you have there total. And that at least is going to give you something to compare it to. So again, 1,400 for an art school is kind of mid-sized. And we also have a really nice diverse mix of students. You can see here, students from 34 states and 27 countries this year. These little bits of information, parents love these. We did not make these numbers up. And again, they're speaking to that idea that there are a lot of jobs out there. Over 600,000 businesses involved in the arts, employing over 3 million people, you know, 2.3 million people working in the visual arts in the US. The numbers come from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I don't know if I said that. I apologize if I repeat myself. And there's more on our website as well. Another thing I feel really strongly about when you're looking around at colleges, no matter what you want to do, look at what the students are doing when they're done. Are they getting the kinds of jobs that you're hoping to get? You know, are they working for the types of companies that you're hoping to work for? You should recognize a lot of these logos. This is just an example or a few examples. Do yourself a favor, you know, and ask, are they getting those kinds of jobs? We've had over 400 companies in the last couple of years on our campus to interview and recruit students, and they're in all different majors, and they have internships available as well. So they're not just hiring graduating students. I jumped past this image here. This is just a quick list of internships in the last few years at CCS. And again, it's a partial list. There's a lot more information on our website for that. And same thing here. These are some different career paths. Again, I'm not going to, you know, ask you to take time to read all of those right this minute, but they are on our website as well. Next, I want to talk about our campus. Like I said, we are in Detroit. We're in an area of Detroit called Midtown, and it's actually Detroit's cultural center. There's a lot of museums and galleries in the area, and it's a really safe area. That's a concern I get from a lot of parents when they hear Detroit. CCS actually has some of the best campus crime statistics of all of the colleges in the state of Michigan. To be honest, it surprised me a little bit being in a big city, but I thought it was great to hear that. And we do have great security measures on our campus 24/7. We technically have two locations. One is the Ford campus that you see in the upper left there, and that's going to house all of our all of our non-design based majors. Things like illustration, fine art, photography, photojournalism, product photography, all of those kind of things. And then the Taubman Center on the bottom right there is our design location. So all of our design based majors, transportation design, interior design. And the video that you see running here is also available on our website. I definitely, again, would encourage you to take a look at it. We do have housing available on campus, and you've got two options. One, we don't require students to live on campus. And two, again, you've got two options. We have traditional dorms or residence halls in the Taubman Center, and those are the images that you see on the top here. Anywhere from 2 to 4 students share space there. And then on the Ford campus, we have the Art Center building, and that is apartments. And even freshmen can live in the apartments. That's not a problem. It's anywhere from 2 to 6 students for 1 bedroom up to a 3-bedroom apartment, full kitchen, living, dining area, 1 to 2 bathrooms. So again, you have some great options there. Just a couple quick notes about Detroit. It is a great place to have an art school. There is a lot of support for what we do as visual artists at CCS. It's also a really fun experience for our students to, engage in things in the city. There is public art all over the city, like murals and things like that. There are festivals and events happening in the city, art openings, galleries, great places to eat, music, all of that kind of stuff. So again, it really supports what we do at the school. And one thing that's really kind of fun is the big art museum here, the Detroit Institute of Arts. It's an internationally known art museum, is literally right across the street from our campus, and our students have access to it anytime at no charge. Now I'm going to change tacks a little bit here for a moment, just again, because we have a limited amount of time. I do want to talk about our majors, and I do want to give you some feedback on them, or some experience and kind of some ideas of what you can do with the different majors. The first one is advertising, design, and copywriting. And this is really big picture advertising. It's coming up with the ad campaign. The main kind of career path for these guys is art director, and it's bringing together different artists, illustrators, graphic designers, photographers, copywriters to create that ad campaign. For example, you might be working on an ad campaign for hot dogs, and you have to figure out, okay, is it going to be in print? Is it in a television commercial? Is it on a billboard? Is it on the side of a bus? All of that kind of stuff. So you have, knowledge about and experience with all of those different formats for marketing that product. Next is visual art practice. This is the new name for our fine art program at CCS. There are 3 kind of primary areas of focus within this, and they are, painting, print media, and sculpture. But you're not limited to each of those. Like if you're a sculpture major, that doesn't mean that's the only thing that you can do. There's a lot of crossover, a lot of flexibility, a lot of multimedia things that students do. This is probably the one area that scares parents the most, that they see that starving artist kind of idea. But one of the big reasons they wanted to change the name to Arts Practice is to focus on the fact that they are practicing visual artists. Again, there's a lot of different things you can do. One of the things I do think help make you a more successful visual artist in this program is to be a little bit more self-directed. The reason is the art that you're creating is for yourself. You're not necessarily, working with a client to say, okay, I need a picture of this or a sculpture of that. You can, but that's not always the primary focus. So if this is where your heart is, if this is what you want to do, find a school that's going to help you learn how to make a living at it, because we are definitely going to do that. Communication design is next, and I said earlier, communication design includes things like graphic design, website design, multimedia design, information graphics, user experience design, UI, UX, all of those kind of things all fall under here. Motion graphics also is included. The real traditional graphic design component of bringing together type and image is kind of where this begins, but it's a lot broader than that. There's a lot of different things you can do, very technology oriented. You definitely need to like working on the computer to be part of this major. And that's something that you should think about. Do you like working on the computer? Do you like working with your hands? And that's going to help you, select different majors as well. Again, our website has a ton more examples of different artwork, videos from the students, from faculty that you can take a look at and get more details. Next is our craft and materials studies major, and this is one that had some of those emphases underneath it. There are 5. The first one is ceramics, and ceramics has everything to do with clay. So working with clay, whether it's functional like plates, cups, or it could be decorative, sculptural. And again, like fine art practice, you're not limited or restricted to the area you choose. So if your focus is ceramics, that doesn't mean that's the only thing you can ever work with. There is a lot of flexibility here. Fibers and textiles is the next emphasis under crafts and materials studies. Again, a lot of different kind of career paths, soft goods designer. You can be a fine artist. You can work with color and trim, say for the automotive industry, print and pattern designing for fabrics. One of the things about craft and materials studies is this is very hands-on, whereas something like communication design is much more computer-based. Crafts is going to be much more hands-on. Furniture is the next area, and generally as a student it's more one-off kind of sculptural pieces that you're doing, but that doesn't mean there's not a commercial opportunity. For example, we have a number of students that work at Steelcase in Grand Rapids, Michigan, designing office furniture. They've done internships there, and there's alumni that work there. So that's just one example. Glass is another area of emphasis under craft and material studies. CCS is one of the few programs or schools in the country that offer a 4-year BFA program in glass specifically. A lot of schools offer glass, but maybe just as a minor or just have a few classes in it, but we have a full comprehensive program. So glass blowing, glass fusion, again, a lot of different directions that you can take that. Metalsmithing and jewelry design is the final area under crafts. And again, a lot of mixed media, but this is going to be everything from delicate jewelry design up to blacksmithing and everything in between. And again, you're not restricted. One thing too, every major at CCS can also be a minor. So we have a lot of students that'll major in something else and minor in crafts. That's another option that you can look at. Next is our entertainment arts major. And I said earlier, entertainment arts has several things that fall underneath it as well. The first one is animation, and it's going to be everything to do with animation. So traditional cell animation, claymation, stop motion, 2D animation, right up to 3D animation, movie special effects, all of those kinds of things. The next area that falls under entertainment arts is concept design. And this is concept design for film, okay? If you're interested in concept design for, say, animation, then you really want to take a look at the animation program. But for film, again, creating what the characters are going to look like, what their environment's going to look like, what their clothing, their weapons, their transportation is going to look like, all of those kind of things. The next thing under entertainment arts is digital film, and you are going to learn everything you need to know about film. So screenwriting, cinematography, sound editing, producing, directing, whether you want to do feature film, you want to do documentary, or you want to make television commercials. You're going to be able to do all of that. Experimental film, all of those different things will fall under this major. And then the last area that falls under entertainment arts is game design. Video game design has grown exponentially in the last couple of decades. It's not just entertainment games. Really interesting industries like the medical community use games as training. The military has been using them for a while now as training, to facilitate training. With game design, you are going to be creating the characters, the environments, and also the level design of the games. The only thing you're really not doing is you're not doing the coding side of the game. And then next is fashion accessories design. Talk to a lot of students who express interest in fashion design. And there's a lot of schools out there that teach that. It's a tough industry to be successful at. Fashion accessory design is a little bit different. This is a $55 billion industry, and it goes along with the fashion industry. Almost every single clothing house out there has an accessories line that goes with it. But there's only 3 schools in the country that teach accessory design, and CCS is the only one in the Midwest. We focus on designing shoes, handbags, leather goods, and also the business side of it as well. So if you have an interest in fashion, I would strongly recommend taking a look at this major. Illustration is next, and this is a major that is very traditionally based, lots of drawing, lots of painting, but with more of a commercial bent to it than, say, fine art. Probably one of the broadest majors as far as different types of things you can do. You've got everything from cartooning to children's book illustration, advertising, political illustration, editorial illustration, all of those kinds of things. Whereas fine art is a little more self-directed, illustration is definitely more commercial. This is where you're going to have that client saying, okay, I want a picture of this or a drawing of that. But if you have an interest in those traditional skills, this is a great major to check out as well. Interior design is next, and this is literally interior space. A good way to think about it is along the same lines as architecture. Interior designers are dealing with the inside of the building. Most architectural firms keep interior designers on staff. A lot of people don't realize that. And you're really going to work on any new construction, any renovation, any restoration is almost always going to have an interior designer connected with it at some point. So again, if you have an interest in that, architecture, space planning, take a look at this major. Photography, there's a lot of colleges out there that actually offer photography as majors. So I'd like to point out a couple things that are unique at CCS's program. One is that we still have our black and white lab, and a lot of students that are interested in photography, I think definitely have an interest in doing black and white film, printing, developing. You can still do that at CCS. Another thing that really differentiates our program from others is the equipment we have available to students. You've got everything from different types of lenses for your camera, lighting equipment, even drones available at no additional charge. So it doesn't cost you anything to borrow that stuff. Most colleges, if they have it, you have to rent it, or if they don't have it, you just have to go out and buy it yourself. So every time you want a different type of lens for your camera, you have to make that big investment. At CCS, you can try it out ahead of time, and again, at no charge. Same thing, lots of different career applications, whether you want to do fashion photography, commercial photography, photojournalism, sports photography, documentary, whatever area. Product design is next, and this is a major I think a lot of people don't quite understand what it is. It literally is design of everything. Another name for it is industrial design or industrial engineering. These guys are the epitome of creative problem solvers. They are either taking something that already exists and figuring out how to make it better, or they are creating something that meets a need, whether it's, safety equipment for kids playing football, or medical device, or, if you start listing the things that are products that have been designed, it's everything from the toothbrush you brushed your teeth with to the computer or the phone that you're watching this presentation on. So you've got all of those kind of things. Toy design falls under this. One note here, since we do have the fashion accessories design program, if you're interested in more the fashion side of shoe design, you want that major. But if you're interested in more of the high-tech stuff like running shoes, basketball shoes, football cleats like you see here, That kind of stuff they're actually doing in product design. So you definitely want to take a look at this major for that kind of design as well. And last but not least is transportation design. CCS literally has one of the best transportation design programs in this country. If any of you or your friends are thinking about transportation design, we should definitely be on your short list of schools. We have a three-pronged approach to this major. So one kind of area that you can focus on is automotive design. So car interiors, exteriors, everything to do with an automobile. Another direction that you can take is all other forms of transportation. So you've got everything from boats, bicycles, motorcycles, airplanes, trains, you name it. And then the third one is a little more the conceptual side of it. We call it mobility, and it's really looking at the future of transportation. How are people going to get from point A to point B in 5 years or 15 or 20 years? What is that going to look like? So for example, that whole idea of autonomous vehicles that we're all hearing about now, they're in the testing phases. That is something our students have been working on for a long time because the industry has been working on it for a long time, so they are reactive and they want to be proactive and make sure that students are really well prepared when they go out into the transportation industry. We also offer art education as a certificate program. It doesn't stand by itself, but what you do is you pick one of the other majors, anything you want, and you can do art education in addition to that. It takes slightly longer. It takes 5 years instead of 4. But when you graduate, you have a full BFA in whatever area it was that you chose, plus your art education certification. And we have had 100% placement in art education for years. So that is a real bonus there. I'm going to jump around again a little bit. I want to definitely quickly talk about the admissions process just to start to give you a quick idea. And remember, I said I'm going to make sure I finish up a few minutes early too, so that we have some question and answer time. The application process at CCS is actually pretty simple. We have a free online application. It doesn't cost anything to apply to CCS. We don't use the Common App. We have our own on our website, but again, there's no charge for it. You complete the application, submit your transcripts from high school and any college credit you might have received, or if you're a transfer student, we still need the high school transcript and any colleges that you've attended. And we need a portfolio for all applicants. The portfolio for a first-year student is going to be 8 to 12 pieces of work, period. Okay. Don't send 15 or 20. That just tells me you didn't read the instructions. And the content of the work is really up to you. I am going to show you some examples. It does not have to specifically reflect your major. So it really can be anything. My advice is I want to see 8 to 12 pieces of your best work. It's the stuff that you are the most excited about, that you are the most proud of. That is usually the stuff that's your best work. Now, there are a few majors that require some drawing in the portfolio. Those are illustration, fine art, animation, game design, and actually transportation design. If you're applying to one of those majors, we do want to see some drawing from observation in the portfolio for admission. Okay, so I'll do this one in a second here. So again, if you're applying for one of those majors, at least out of that 8 to 12, I'd say at least 3 to 5 pieces should be drawing from observation. By drawing from observation, hopefully you know what I mean. It's things you are looking at to draw, not copying from photographs, not cartoon characters, not things out of your head, but things you're looking at. It can be anything, people, landscape, still life, whatever you want to draw. Above and beyond that, you can include anything else you'd like to. If you're not one of those specific majors, you don't have to include drawing in the portfolio. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Now, if you're thinking about applying to the concept design major, that major has very specific portfolio requirements. You have to do concept design. They want you to either take a film that already exists and reimagine it, like this student is doing with Beauty and the Beast, or kind of create your own, story and do the concept design for it. Showing, again, character design, costumes, environment, There are very detailed description and really good additional examples on our website. So I would suggest if you're thinking about concept design specifically, take a look at that so that you know what that portfolio needs to look like. When to apply. Our application usually is live in 1st of September. So anytime starting in September of your senior year, December 1st is our early action deadline. It's not early decision, you're not committing to the school, but it is a priority date for scholarship. If you get those admissions materials into us by December 1st of your senior year, you're going to be automatically considered for the most amount of scholarship possible. Okay, there's no separate forms to fill out. We have rolling admissions, which means once we get everything in, we're going to review it. It'll take us about 2 weeks. You'll have a decision. The one exception to that, again, is concept design. Concept design is not reviewed on a rolling basis. You can start applying in September. We're going to hold all of those applications up until February 1st, which is also our second priority date, and review them as a group. You will not miss out on any scholarship deadlines or anything if you're applying for concept design. You just have to get everything into us by February 1st. I mentioned earlier that CCS is a private school, and that means tuition doesn't change in state or out of state. The other thing about being a private school is we look very expensive on paper. My advice to you is don't let that scare you away, especially not at the beginning of your search process, because you might be missing out on a school that's a great fit for you. This is another reason not to, dismiss a school that might be a little more expensive. Especially at CCS, 98% of our students receive some kind of financial aid and scholarship, okay? And if you look at the bottom right there, our average scholarship the last couple of years has been over $20,000. So definitely worth it. Get that free application into us, get everything in by December 1st, get accepted, see what your financial aid scholarship situation might be, and then make a decision that works for you. Everyone should be filling out the FAFSA form. That's the free federal application for financial aid. You can start doing it October 1st of your senior year. So if any of you guys are seniors, you should definitely have this on your radar already. College credit earned in high school. If you take advanced placement classes, or you're in an IB program, or you've taken some dual enrollment credit, we're happy to look at that for additional credit at CCS. If you're receiving college credit from a college, like dual enrollment credit, you would want to request those transcripts be sent to us as well. But you can talk to your admissions counselor about, more details on how to do that. We offer a great summer program for high school students called PreCollege Summer Experience. In normal years, not this past summer, but in normal years, it is a 3-week residential program where you stay right on campus, live in the dorms, eat in the cafeteria, and you get to take classes that are really close to what our major is. So it's a great opportunity to experience that, like product design or transportation design that you haven't done in high school. You can earn 3 college credits for that, and there are some scholarships for the summer program as well, and you can check those out on our website. If you want to learn more about CCS, you can absolutely scan the QR code here. That is going to bring up an inquiry form for you that you are welcome to fill out, and we will send you some additional information. I will get some information from this college fair about names and contact info, so we can send it that way. Check out the website for sure. Tours of the campus. Right now, we are still doing in-person tours, but they are very limited. My suggestion first would be to do a virtual tour. Those are amazing. They're led by our student ambassadors. You can see housing, you can see the studios, the labs, the campuses, and you can sign up for that from our website as well. If you do want to come visit us in person, you definitely need to make an appointment. It is limited to 1 student and 2 additional family members per meeting time. Masks are absolutely required, and you are limited in what you can see. And for example, we're not taking in-person tours into housing this year because of COVID concerns. Let me go back to our beginning point here, and I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen so that I can see if there are any questions or anything. I don't see any questions. So if anyone has any, this is the time. You are more than welcome to throw them up here, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. I hope that you've gotten something out of this presentation. I know it's a lot of information in a really short amount of time. So again, the website is the best resource to take a look at. Oh, one last side note, we are actually having a virtual open house tonight. So if you would like, you can still be involved with that. Go to our website, sign up for it, and you'll get the links for it. But it's happening this evening. If you have time and you're interested in CCS, I would highly recommend doing that because there's a lot of great opportunities there to find out more about what we offer at the school, more in detail than what I have done here today. I will also give you my email. I think I can put it in here. Maybe not. But you can always reach me at pspencer, PSPENCER, at collegeforcreativestudies.edu. You have to spell out the whole College for Creative Studies part. And you can also contact me through our website as well, if that's preferred. Nobody has any questions? Anything else out there? I'm not seeing any. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude a little early there. I don't have any questions. So hopefully you guys got some great information, and definitely let me know if you have any after the fact.
Thank you, Patty. I got good information because my daughter is interested in animation, and I know that this is the second session that I've facilitated. So thank you for such great information. Let me do some final stuff for our participants that are here. I do ask that after I end the webinar, there's a very short survey that helps Indiana ACAC plan some events for students and makes it more useful. If there's something that you want to go back and revisit from Patty's presentation, or even share with your parents or someone that couldn't view this, within a week, this presentation's video will be on inacac.org's website, and that way you can go back and rewatch it and see all those great examples of the programs and what the alumni are doing at College of Creative Studies. I thank you for your time this evening. Thank you, Miss Patty, for such great information, and I hope that we will see you at future sessions. Don't forget to go and sign up for more sessions that will be happening over the next couple of weeks. Have a great evening.
Thank you.